The Legend of the Eight Immortals.
Chapter 23, The Filial Son at the Lake and the Miracle of the Immortal. Li Xuan saw the boy who called himself Yang Ren throw himself into the clear currents of the lake because he could not save his mother. Li Xuan quickly pointed his finger. Suddenly, the lake water congealed and turned solid. When Yang Ren leapt in, it was as if he were walking on level ground. Not only did he not sink, but his clothes, shoes, and socks remained completely dry. Stunned, Yang Ren looked around and saw a Taoist standing before him, smiling. Knowing this was no ordinary man, but still bent on dying, Yang Ren shouted, "Was it you, Taoist, who played this trick? How hateful! I have no wish to live in this world, so I took this final path. What does it have to do with a Taoist like you? Do not use these toys to mock a miserable man," and then began to wail and cry without ceasing. Li Xuan walked over with a grin and tugged at Yang Ren's sleeve. "Open your eyes and see where we are," he said. Yang Ren looked up. "How strange! I was just at the lakeside seeking death, but in the blink of an eye I am in a place I have never seen." He saw vermilion gates, green jade tiles, and bright windows. It looked like a palace for a king. There was no one else around, only him and Li Xuan, who was still smiling at him. Yang Ren realized Li Xuan was a Zhenren. He knelt quickly and cried out, "Master, save my life! Master, save my life!" Li Xuan laughed. "You are quite a contradiction. Just now you were dying and I saved you out of mercy, yet you complained I was meddling. Now you beg for your life?" Yang Ren bowed low, weeping. "Earlier I thought there was no way to save my mother, so I felt I had to end my life, but now I see you are a true immortal from the heavens. You can surely save her. If she is saved, I can live. I beg for your mercy." "You are persistent," Li Xuan teased. "You save your own life, and now you want to save your mother's? I don't usually involve myself in such messy accounts." "If you won't save her, why save me?" Yang Ren cried. "Let me go back and die in the lake." Li Xuan laughed loudly. "If you die, can you save her then?" Yang Ren was silenced by the question. After a moment he bowed again. "I know you have the power. I will give my life or be ground to dust, if only my mother is safe." "Good," Li Xuan smiled. "To save her, we need a medicine primer. With your sincerity, it costs nothing." Yang Ren, being clever, thought for a moment. "Master, let me tell you a riddle. This medicine primer cannot be found outside. It is 1,000 miles away, yet right before our eyes." "Smart boy," Li Xuan laughed. "You guessed correctly. Come, let us go save her." Yang Ren was stunned. "Master, do you already know where my home is?" Li Xuan only smiled. "Look again. Where are we now?" Yang Ren looked up and gasped. He realized they were no longer in a dreamlike palace, but standing right before the gates of the Zhongshan mansion, a very place where his mother was held captive. He fell to the ground in awe. "Master, you are truly a god." Li Xuan helped him up. "Don't be so formal. You haven't even asked my name. Where is the person who asks for help without knowing who they're talking to?" Yang Ren hit his own forehead with his small fists. "How foolish I am! I forgot to ask your title." "I am Li Xuan," the immortal replied. "My grandmaster is Grandmaster Lao Jun. Because of your filial piety, I will save you, and after that, I wish to take you as my disciple. Are you willing?" Yang Ren's face went from joy to worry. He explained that if he entered the Tao, his mother would have no one to care for her in her old age. Li Xuan laughed. "If you had died in the lake, who would have cared for her then? Stop acting like a weeping girl and follow me." "No more questions," Li Xuan commanded. "Close your eyes." Yang Ren obeyed. After a brief moment, Li Xuan shouted, "Open!" Yang Ren snapped his eyes open. The scenery had shifted to a dark cell. There, tied up on the floor, was a woman calling out, "My son, Yang Ren, if only you knew how your mother suffers here." Yang Ren's heart burned with grief. He rushed forward and embraced his mother, both of them weeping as if in a dream. When Yang Ren looked up, Li Xuan had vanished. "Master, where are you?" he cried in a panic. Suddenly, Li Xuan reappeared, laughing. "Why the hurry? I told you I would save you, but that villain Niu Jing is too hateful. I want to play a trick on him. Your mother is a lady. She shouldn't stay in this foul place. I will send her away first. You, however, must stay and act as my medicine primer. Do exactly as I say. Can you do that?" The mother knelt quickly, her voice trembling with gratitude. "Immortal Master, you have shown us the mercy of a second life. My son, you must answer the Immortal at once. Whatever he asks of you, you must do. To disobey his command is to disobey your mother. You would no longer be a son of mine if you fail him now." Yang's resolution hardened. "I will do as you command, Master." Li Xuan waved his hand, and the mother's ropes shattered. He brushed his sleeve over her, and her whip wounds vanished instantly. Then he summoned a divine Li Shi, who carried her away on a gust of wind to a temple at West Lake. Then Li Xuan pointed his finger at Yang Ren. In a flash of light, the boy was transformed into the exact likeness of his mother, tied up and lying on the floor. Soon, a middle-aged maid entered the cell, swaying and preening. Believing the mother had finally yielded, she spoke with a honeyed tongue. "Our manager Niu Jing is so enamored with you. He even sent these healing pills for your wounds. He regrets the punishment he gave you earlier." The mother, who was actually Yang Ren in disguise, groaned as if in great pain. Fearing Niu Jing's wrath if the bride remained injured, the maid ordered the guards to untie the ropes. Yang Ren remained silent for a long time, then spoke with a forced calmness. "If he truly wants me, he must treat me with respect. I may be a widow, but I come from a good family. If he wishes to marry me, he must ask the Lord of Zhongshan himself to witness the wedding and pray to heaven and earth. The Lord and manager Niu Jing are as close as brothers. Surely the Lord will grant this face. If Niu Jing ever abandons me, I must have the Lord to turn to for justice." The maid agreed at once. "Consider it done. The Lord of Zhongshan never refuses our manager's requests." That night, the great hall was ablaze with red candles and filled with festive music. Manager Niu Jing, dressed in his groom's finery, stood proudly on the red carpet beside the bride. Beside them stood the Lord of Zhongshan, presiding over the ceremony as the sovereign witness. The priest's voice rang out. "The auspicious hour has arrived. Bride and groom bow to heaven and earth." Right at that moment, Li Xuan, hidden and invisible beside Yang Ren, reached out and tapped the boy on the crown of his head. He gave a sharp command. "The time is now. Do not let your mother's name be stained with such infamy. Strike. Why do you wait?" With that one tap, Yang Ren felt his nerves catch fire, his courage surged, and his strength exploded tenfold. He threw both arms out in a massive sweep, and the guests and servants on either side were sent flying, as if struck by a battering ram. They couldn't even keep their feet, stumbling back in a blind panic. The most pathetic was the groom, Niu Jing. His body, hollowed out by years of wine and lust, was no match for the blow. Standing right next to Yang Ren, he took the full force of the shove. To him, the boy's hand felt like Mount Tai collapsing onto his chest. He was flipped backward, landing face first in the dirt, a total dog-eating shattered face fall. He coughed up a spray of fresh blood and lay there, unable to even twitch. Seeing the bride go wild, the mansion guards let out a roar and swarmed in. Armed with forks and clubs, they surrounded the target, screaming, "Don't let the demon woman get away!" Yang Ren let out a thunderous shout and shed his disguise. In a flash, he was back to his true form, a 10-year-old boy, facing the mob with bare fists. It didn't matter what weapon touched him. Blades chipped and clubs shattered against his skin. But when Yang Ren's fists connected, no one could take the hit. They were either crushed or sent sprawling across the floor. Yang Ren looked up and saw the Lord of Zhongshan still standing at the head of the hall, shrieking, "This is madness! This is a rebellion!" Following Li Xuan's secret instructions, Yang Ren made a sudden, massive leap. He snatched the Lord of Zhongshan by the chest, grabbing him as easily as a small chick, and slammed him hard into the ground. The impact left the Lord's brain spinning in 120 directions. "It's not my fault! It's not my fault!" the Lord wailed in terror. Yang Ren hoisted him back up by the collar and barked at him. "You're the ruler of this land, yet you let your thugs kidnap a virtuous widow? You even had the nerve to host the wedding? Is that not a crime?" The Lord scrambled to answer. I didn't know. I thought he was just taking a concubine. I had no idea he did this. Please, brave youth, let go. Let me personally interrogate him and give him the death penalty, all right?" Yang Ren grinned. "In that case, I'll leave the mess to you." Suddenly, Li Xuan revealed himself. With the flick of his wide sleeve, a blinding golden light filled the hall, making it impossible to see a thing. Under the cover of the glow, the two of them arose into the clouds. Li Xuan's voice boomed from the sky. "Lord of Zhongshan, listen! I am a Yang Ren from the heavens, watching over the good and evil of this world. Since you've admitted your fault, you are spared. But Nu Jing cannot be spared. You must punish him heavily. Seize his property and distribute it to those he harmed. This will be an act of devotion for you. If you dare to shield him, do not blame me for being heartless. I shall wait in the sky for 3 days for your reply." With that, they vanished into the clouds. The Lord of Zhongshan led the terrified crowd in a deep bow, shouting, "An immortal! A true immortal has come for Nu Jing! We cannot spare him, or heaven's fire will fall on me." Nu Jing was dragged straight to a cell. Once his crimes were listed, he was beheaded in the public square. A proclamation went out, and everyone Nu Jing had stepped on came forward to claim a share of his blood money. The case was finally closed. Li Xuan took Yang Ren to the temple where his mother was waiting. The reunion was filled with tears of joy and relief. Yang Ren laughed as he told his mother how he had handled the villains back at the mansion, but she scolded him for being disrespectful in front of his master. Li Xuan looked at the mother and spoke with earnest warmth. "Your son has immortal bones. He is not meant for the world of officials. If he follows me to cultivate the way, he will achieve greatness within 20 years. At that time, whether you are able to see him or not, only good will come of it." "Just now," Li Xuan continued, "your son gave his word to become my disciple, but his heart was still filled with worry for you. But the way of the Immortals is rooted in filial piety and loyalty. We would never heartlessly sever the bond between mother and son. As for your daily life, I have my ways to provide for you so that you shall not suffer the slightest hardship. Madam, this is my sincere advice. I wonder if you can find peace in your mind and allow yourself to part with your son for a time." The mother listened to these words and fell into a long, deep silence. Finally, she began to speak, her voice carrying the weight of a mother's soul. What did she say to the immortal? That remains to be seen in the next chapter.